Are you waiting on me? You
No,
good?
just keep calm.
Uh,
Keep calm, man.
just let my head down. I ain't really paying no
I mean,
attention.
that's typical. Typical. You ready? Anywho, um, hold on. Comments. Make sure I'm able to see those. Um, all right. We all said, Chris. What up? What up, people? Your boy John Everett checking in with you. Nothing but facts with my co-host Chris Breezy. I'm just playing Chris Brooks.
Heard that in a long time. So
It
I
ain't
was
been.
big.
It really ain't been a long time. It's just been 2 weeks since we've been on, and a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. Um, but yeah, a lot to talk about with sports. I know y'all hate when we go on these little 2 weeks where we be on breaks and everything like that. But we really don't be on a break. We don't want to oversaturate you with nonsense because we do be talking about a lot of nonsense and foolery. Um,
Not really,
but
but
I mean, a little bit.
current, exciting current events. How about that?
Okay, I'll go with that. We're getting better. A lot of exciting news. I, I'll talk about this before we get into our show and all that stuff. I keep telling people, do not forget Mo Better High School All Star Weekend. Um, the signups for the 7-on-7 Senior Bowl Challenge is getting uh, pretty crazy. A lot of kids have signed up already. Don't miss their opportunity. Basketball, same way. Boys game, girls game. It's going to be a must-see TV and talked about thing in the city. So you don't want to miss the opportunity. Fill out the Google Doc on Mo Better Sports. Hey, because I don't want to hear my kid was left behind and all that good old stuff. We're giving everybody the opportunity to be selected. Submit your info so we can handle that.
Seniors
Chris,
only, right? Seniors only, right?
singers only. However, we got a little. We're going to add, but we're
Okay.
going to talk about that right now. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. I ain't going to tell the world.
Appreciate that. God bless you.
I mean, it is what it is. But Chris, talk to me.
Nah, man. A lot going on. And again, appreciate you guys always tapping in with us. And we'll jump right in it. A lot to talk about. Um, some craziness went on during our break. Um, but I just a lot to talk about. Some good basketball going on right now, high school, as well as NBA. But I think it's fitting to just, and John, I don't know. I don't even know who your team is, but three P on the way. Three-peat on the way. Clap it up for them Chiefs. Go ahead, John. Come on, John. Come on,
I
John.
mean,
Come on, John.
I'm not clapping up for that. I mean, am I supposed to clap it up because they from Missouri? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you let me know, Chris. Like,
I, I think I think a little bit of both. Of they're from Missouri, and we are witnessing greatness. If you don't like the Chiefs, I get it. If you love the Chiefs, I get it. But I think everybody needs to be a little bit more understanding of what you're seeing right now, because you're seeing something that not even Tom Brady was able to do. So Chiefs headed back to the Super Bowl. They beat the Bills in a very, very stunning game, 32-29. Patrick Mahomes, man, what can you say about him? Doing everything he needs to do when they say he doesn't score enough points, or their offense doesn't score enough points, they get you 32. Um, so many things, There were 16-1, now 17-1 in one square games. So I think you just got to tip your hat to him, coaching, players, the general manager, and even more so Mr. Hunt, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, because he stays out of the way. And we'll get to those Dallas Cowboys and talk a little bit about the Cowboys, but Mr. Lamar Hunt, Mr. Hunt, he stays out of the way. So you gotta tip your hat to management, ownership, and everybody like that, because I know what it's like to play for for a young team. I know what it's like to play for an old team, but I also know what it's like to play for a team that doesn't have good management and good ownerships. The players talk about it. So very, very happy for the Chiefs. They'll be facing the Eagles, and John, you got to clap it up for the Eagles, dog. You got to. It's the Super Bowl, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. Clap it up for both of them guys, man. Jalen Hurts, another black quarterback, 2 black quarterbacks going to be kind of going at it in Super Bowl 37. I don't even know which one it is.
Somebody got to win.
Yeah, somebody got to win. So John, let's get your early take on these 2 prolific offenses and quarterbacks, kind of going to be going head to head in the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's like 2 different types of styles in this heavyweight fight. Like, one is like someone that is a quantity puncher in Philly, in my opinion, because they run the ball so much and they heavily run. And then you look at Kansas City Chiefs, and they are more like, they got a gunslinger, and he makes plays with his feet. He extends plays. He makes plays that don't look possible, make them possible, and his team is always in the game to win. And when you think about this Super Bowl, and you look at Pat Mahomes, he's won back-to-back. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that could get their team right back in again to win 3 in a row, 3-peat, I mean, that says a lot. That's Tom Brady worthy. That's Michael Jordan worthy. That's Magic Johnson worthy. That's Wayne Gretzky worthy. Just anybody that's been considered a GOAT of a sport worthy. And so I don't know who I really want to pick. I mean, my gut is telling me to go with Kansas City Chiefs, not because I'm, they from Missouri and all that type of stuff, but I just don't see Pat Mahomes losing. You know what I'm saying? I just find it hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? However, Philadelphia and Saquon Barkley, the way he's running the football right now, with just a determination factor, like, I won't be stopped, I can't be stopped. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who to pick, but I'm going to pick someone. And who I'm going to pick is, I'm going on the record, Kansas City Chiefs, 34-31.
Fair pick. It's kind of like that Floyd Mayweather fight. You know what I mean? It's like he's always going to be facing a solid opponent where he could lose, but you can't really bet against the man until he actually does. You know what I mean? Then you kind of do some rethinking, like, oh well, they didn't do this or they didn't do this, and and shout out to the Chiefs, because what they've been able to do is really, really outstanding. Win 1-score games. Do you know how hard that is to do in a National Football League, playing against these tough coaches, opponents, and things like that? So you definitely got to be able to give those guys credit. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard enough just to win. You know what I mean? And they were down in that football game going against the Buffalo Bills. And I'm watching it, and I'm just kind of like, well, if they don't overturn, or if they get this 4th down overturned, then it could look a lot different, But I really felt that if they did, kind of stop them on that 4th down, that they can go ahead and, Patrick Mahomes and those guys would know what time it is, and everybody would kind of just saddle up and go down there and put one in the box. And that's definitely what they did. Still had an opportunity, the Buffalo Bills, to win that game. Unfortunately, dropped the pass, but that wasn't the play that lost the game. And I'm not even going to blame Josh Allen, because he did everything he could to win the game. You know what I mean? It's almost just like you kind of run out of time at that point, man. But gotta definitely, give them some credit, but give a lot more credit to the Chiefs, because they just continue to be able to knock those guys off. I believe there's now 7 divisional championship games that Patrick Mahomes has been to, and he'll face the Eagles again. Faced them 2 years ago. The first time that they, well, not the first time, but when they won this first one and kind of got that first championship under their belt to start this 3-peat. And I think it's a very, very familiar opponent, but I'm not too sure how it's going to play out as well. every time, teams have, certain players that have typically in the past causes fits for the Chiefs figure out a way to be able to stop guys. It was no different a few years ago. The Chiefs sucked at the run. They could not stop the run. And in a tough few ball games, they were able to stop the run, get some scores, get some stops, get some turnovers, and ultimately win quality ball games. I mean, coaching and guys knowing what time it is. So again, I say that with all due respect to everybody, even if you don't like the Kansas City Chiefs, man, you got to be, you got to understand when greatness is happening. Because Patrick Mahomes is keeping a lot of people from winning championships, just like Tom Brady did. And we got some good quarterbacks in this era right now. And again, just to talk about Jalen Hurts just a little bit, man, a guy, again, familiar. And I know he's going to be watching the tape of that Super Bowl from 2 years ago when he just so happened to put the ball on the turf a few times and not secure the ball. Chiefs picked it up and ran one back on him. That ball game could have went a little differently. And you got the hold. I believe there was a hold late in the game against Juju Smith-Schuster that ultimately gave the Chiefs like a first down and the ball like relatively close. They went on and punched it in. Everybody was mad about that call. I think that's when, they start saying the Chiefs were cheating and all that good jazz. It's a script. But man, again, you gotta give a shout out to the Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a fantastic game. I'm gonna go with 28-31. I'm gonna say the Chiefs gonna win this thing and make history as the only team to ever three-peat. Patty Mahomes.
Well, this kind of segues us into our next topic, though, since we're talking about the Chiefs. Do you believe that if Pat Mahomes goes 3 straight, is he the GOAT?
Yeah, I think it definitely puts him in a conversation, and I'm talking about top tier of the conversation with Tom Brady. A lot of people look into stats. A lot of people don't want to look into stats. They say, like Joe Montana, well, not Joe Montana, I'm sorry, Dan Marino, Brett Favre, guys who, put up all these numbers, all these wins, all these, touchdowns, but they've never won a big one. Well, Patrick Mahomes, if he wins this game, he's going to have won 3 in a row. Tom Brady has not done that. So when you talk about it at that point, it's really just him and Tom. You know what I mean? There's nobody close, and we can say, all the refs, we can say so many things, but I think if he wins this game, it definitely puts him, in that conversation. He's 27 years old, so he's got a lot of football left. Travis Kelce's 35. I could see Travis Kelce playing one more year, just to, you know what I mean, just to do it, try to win another one, and then he kind of ride off in the sunset with the Swifties, So not a bad way to go, but I think what you're seeing right now is greatness, and again, I think everybody should be taking heed to it and just watching it because it's not something that's going to come around potentially again in some of our lifetimes. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say yes. I said Patrick Mahomes wins this game. He's the best quarterback to ever play the game.
Oh, that's loaded. That's loaded because just think about it like this: Pat Mahomes has been in the league 9 years now, right?
Yep.
He already has 3 Super Bowl wins, right?
Yep.
So this is going for 4, right?
Yep.
He's definitely in the GOAT conversation, and the fact that if he wins and it's 3 in a row, nobody has ever done that in football.
Right.
It's never been done. And you can go back and talk about Tom Brady and all these other guys, And again, I'm a Tom Brady fan. You know what I'm saying? Like Tom Brady is definitely the GOAT of GOATs when it comes to in the NFL. But what Pat has done in a short period of time with one organization like this, it's like nobody talked about the Kansas City Chiefs until Pat Mahomes. And of course, Randy Reid, not Randy Reid, head football coach, you know what I'm talking about. But
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. Nobody started talking about the Chiefs until Andy Reid came along, you know what I'm saying? And then they added Pat Mahomes, and it's like
Alex Smith.
But this was kind of a match made in heaven as far as right head coach, right quarterback, and they have just figured it out.
Yeah.
And Pat Mahomes is simply special, and there's nothing else to debate or talk about. The things that he do are GOAT-like things.
Yeah.
If he has a minute, 45 seconds or 50 seconds, and you just scored and he got the football, whew, I hate this. I hate it for you
Yeah.
because he gonna go make plays. You know what I'm saying? And then get it twisted. Tom Brady did the same type of things. He had a couple great catches that saved him in a lot of this. But Pat Mahomes, man, he a winner, and he's done it in a short period of time. And again, he's up to win 4 with 3 in a row in a 9-year span.
Yeah, it's crazy, and people forget the one he lost to Tom Brady, where he played lights out, but everybody else around him stunk. It seemed like when they were down in Tampa, he played lights out, bro. Everybody else just stunk. So and that's just me calling it my opinion. Mike Tillman, too early for the GOAT talk, in my opinion.
No, read the other comment he just. Hold up, I'm gonna put it on the screen because this is blasphemous. What he just said. This is straight blasphemous. Listen. Jim Kelly got there 15 times and didn't win one time. No, he would never be in a conversation of GOAT.
Wait, are we talking about the Buffalo Bills, Jim Kelly?
Yes. Come on, Mike.
Okay, we could say Josh Allen is the modern day Jim Kelly then, because he keep getting there and he keep losing in the divisional round.
But let's keep it funky though. He's not the best quarterback in his division.
No, he's not.
Lamar Jackson is.
Yeah.
So we ain't having this conversation about nobody when it comes to Pat Mahomes and somebody in his division, are we?
Yeah, but I think best quarterback and best winner are two different things, and that's not a slight at Lamar. That's not a slight. I think Josh Allen does some things that Patrick Mahomes can't do. But one thing about Patrick Mahomes, he's a winner, man. And that's something that you can't take away from a person. That's like touchdown babies. You know what I mean? Them touchdown babies gonna find the end zone. They gonna get in that box.
Hey,
winners are gonna win, man.
Listen, man.
He just didn't have the pieces.
No one celebrates a loser. Okay? They don't care about what his character is. They don't care about how good he is as a person. They don't care that he goes and gets his wife, mother-in-law, dinner when she's at home. They don't care about any of that. They care about winners. Winning. Jim Kelly simply did not do that. So, hell no. Let me say it again. Hell no. He would not be in the conversation. Why? Why would that even make sense? Somebody that got there 10 times and couldn't win not once? That should tell you everything you need to know. Just not a winner. And that's nothing but facts. But,
and yes, Mike Tillman, Oregon Ducks was on the south side today. Yeah, I seen the comment. Them Ducks was out.
Yeah, they was on the south. They was definitely on the south.
They definitely was. But no, it's a good transition, because we talk about winners. And real quick before, we kind of start going down the line with National Signing Day and things like that. The Lakers, man, I had an opportunity to watch them the other day. They beat a struggling Golden State team. But John, I know they're sitting at about 5th, maybe 4th with the win last night. Are the Lakers kind of arguably one of the best teams? They're sitting 4th, 5th, one of the best teams in the West, and do they have a real chance to kind of, go deep into this thing as we kind of come up on halftime of the WNBA of the NBA season?
When I look at the NBA and how it's played out, it always gets a little different when it comes to playoffs and the picture. And like you said, they said 5th right now in the West. OKC for me is just too young still, and don't know how to win in those moments. They got who they have as far as their leaders and a couple of bucket getters, but like Houston, who was god awful before the new head coach got there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Memphis, You know what I'm saying? They got Ja back, and Ja's looking like Ja. And Denver is always Denver.
Well, Ja kind of got Ja looking back like Ja. He finally.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah, like I mean, I get it, but I think the Lakers are the most scary team when it comes to them being in the Western Conference and the spot that they're sitting in. I think it'll be better for them if they're not in a fifth seed type situation and they can kind of work their way up to a third seed. I think that better suits them as far as a chance to get to the Western Conference Finals. But LeBron is still looking like LeBron. AD is still, you know what I'm saying, fake hurt every other game. However, he's playing some solid basketball right now. And I think they're intangible pieces. I think they have enough to make a run. Now, the question is, will those guys show up when needed? You know what I'm saying? And that's the hard part when you look at the Lakers. Can Austin Reeves be the third leading scorer of the Lakers and help push them over the top
Consistently?
Yeah, because you're going to need Anthony Davis to be in that 30, 35 to 32 range. You're going to need Brian to be in that 23 to 28 range. And you're going to need Austin to bag it up with another 23 or 24 points for them to be in games and win late down in the stretch. You know what I'm saying? And then you need guys that, in my opinion, that's going to have to be able to make shots outside of them. You know what I'm saying? And so, do I think they have enough? Yeah, I think they're one piece away though, not two, because people keep talking about they need two more. No, they don't need two. They need one. I feel like they need one more piece. And I actually would have loved it when I was hearing this talk about Bradley Beal, you know what I'm saying, being traded and all this stuff from Phoenix, with the whole situation, him coming off the bench and all that. I would have loved to see somebody like Brad get to that situation because he is a sniper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And any drives and kicks to him, he making those. And he could take over a game at any point, even better than Austin Reeves. You know what I'm saying? So do they have enough to win in the West? Damn right they got enough to win in the West. You know what I'm saying? And so will they win? That's a whole nother story. If AD can stay healthy the whole time, if LeBron could just be LeBron like he has been in the last 10 games, I'm a LeBron fan, so you know how this gonna go. I'm gonna say I'm being unfair, but I think they got a chance to come out the West.
Yeah, and I would agree with you, man. And I think they're always in the hunt. You know, I mean, obviously they are, but I think with those guys, KD, LeBron, you always gonna have a chance. And I still think that they need somebody. I don't forget when the trade deadline is, but I really think that they need a real third scorer. I think that would really put them in a position where LeBron and KD, if need be, can take some time, you know what I'm saying, rest on the offensive end a little bit more if they had a third scorer. I don't know if Austin Reeves is it. I think he's it by default. I think he's a good basketball player. I love watching him play because he's a streaky guy where he'll, run off, 20 or 30 on you. You look up and he's got 35 points and it's just like, dang. And he's taking game winners and things like that. So he has the trust of the team as well. I just don't know if that's going to be enough. And I'm a Lakers fan, LeBron fan before Lakers fan, but I just don't know if that's going to be enough down the stretch. But they definitely are playing good basketball, and it's really, really good to see. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they come out after the All-Star break. Do they start fast? Do they kind of, is it a little slow? Is AD, going to take a spill and, ankle be hurt or, you know what I mean? Because that stuff, man, if you want some time off, bro, I just feel like you should just be like, hey, man, I need a few nights off. You know what I mean? Because it don't, like, some of the stuff don't even look like he hurt himself, bro. And
so I think the key parts are people like Gabe Vincent, though, and Cam Reddish. Like, what can those guys off the bench when they get the minutes? How impactful can they be? Like Gabe got to be able to make wide open threes, especially when LeBron and Kate and not me, when LeBron and AD are gonna dominate the ball. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna draw double. AD gonna draw double teams and digs and stuff like that all the time. So when they skip it cross court and you out open in the corner, can you be consistent with making threes? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
if you watch how they played the other day against Boston, I mean, they looked electric. Like the Lakers looked like we ain't nothing to play with. Let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We'll see, Chris.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. And I know we got a lot to talk about. But just transitioning again, National Signing Day next week.
Yep.
It's always the first Tuesday.
Do that even matter anymore?
It does. Because you have early signing day. So this is still, but this is still an opportunity for, you know what I mean, some 25 guys to be able to find homes, whether it be Power 5, FCS or whatever have you. So major shout out to everybody who signed in an early signing day period, and also, those who are going to be signing in kind of the traditional signing day period as well. Exciting times for a lot of people, man, and we got a lot of talent, as you can see. You're witnessing a lot of guys from St. Louis get opportunities, and we've talked about it on the show before. So kudos to those guys. Even with that, there's a lot of changes, in college football. And John, one question that I want to ask is, with NIL and everything going on, has NIL made parents and players like a little bit more hard to deal with in this process? Especially if you got like a 4-star, 5-star. I have opportunity to talk to coaches and things like that, and coaches are saying that a kid is telling them that, oh, thank you for the offer and everything like that, but I have representation. So at that point, that coach is directing them right to the team's general manager, and he's handling everything. So your thoughts, you know what I mean, about just parents, kids, and NIL, and how all of that is mixing in the same pot and, making this whole college experience a little bit different.
Chris, I hang out with a lot of old heads, okay? And the two questions I'm going to ask you, there's a simple answer. And they would always say, do a bird piss in the woods? Is an elephant heavy?
Oh, my God.
The answer to both of those questions is yes. Absolutely. They are more harder to deal with now than ever. They're more entitled now than ever. And since they have way more leverage now to tell a coach to go F off,
It's a little harsh.
It's the truth, Chris. We are nothing but facts. We got to tell the truth. And typically I would have used the cuss word, but I said today, no, don't use it. But they don't care about nothing that a coach is talking about if you ain't talking about finances. Point blank, period. I talked to someone just 2 days ago on the girl side, who's one of the top players in the country. And she flat out said, hey, coach, if they ain't got the bread, I ain't going. Point blank, period. So if you think it's like that now on the girls basketball side, what you think it's like on college football? If you're one of the top players in the country and rivals and 247 and all that, and it's like, I'm the number 3 player ranked in the country. If I ain't getting $500K, I ain't messing with you. Right. And that's just the nature of the beast at this moment. But it's always harder. It's like a person in poverty becoming rich. They ain't never dealt with it. They never been rich before. So of course they don't know how to act when they get the bread. You see what I'm saying? So yes, they're gonna be harder to deal with. And not the fact that they'll tell you in a minute, it ain't even like talking to no handler. They sending you straight to their manager. Like, nah, my manager, CAA, they talk, they do my negotiation. Clutch, management. They do my negotiations. Like
Right.
you got all these different. Ain't no such thing as middleman. You dealing with a straight company. They're saying, oh yeah, we have advised him not to take that deal unless it's more lucrative for him and his family. So now you got somebody professional really, really talking about it. So you know how they go. Yes, they're more harder to deal with. And until there's some real regulations on what's what and what's not, it's gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? Is it wrong? No, I don't think so. It just even the playing field. As far as with coaches and all of that, and kids being strong on. And then I like the fact when the NCAA pretty much said it's open season until the kid walk on your campus for school. I love the fact that they took out the whole worrying about if he signed and all that, and he got to be released. None of that mean nothing now. You know what I'm saying? Until you there, I can court you all the way to the day before and try to flip you. That's the nature of the beast. That's the business. You know what I'm saying? NIL has changed the way people think, the way people move. And yes, they're much, much harder to deal with. But I love the direction it's going, though. So I'm all for it.
Well, I would agree, but also disagree, because the way that it's going, I think it's just is setting it up, to be just kind of a nasty experience.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say nasty experience, there's no more relationships in this. You said
there are relationships.
I'm
gonna tell you, it's like this. It's like
we're who, not the coach and the player.
Chris, me and you got a relationship, but I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to mines and this business, yeah, I love you, bro. You my bro. But at the end of the day, that ain't finna make me commit to you now. That's all that is, in my opinion. That's what it looks like. That's what the value looks like right now. It ain't. They're not saying, well, because me and him got a relationship, I know he gonna be a lot. No, they saying if your money ain't right, we ain't doing it. Period.
Yeah, but there's also performance in that as well. You know what I mean? And I think people are getting away from that, because players are more so forgetting that however much money you make, they don't want to hear my ankle hurt.
No.
You know what I mean? Those days of, you know what I mean? Oh, I need kind of a rest day, and they might, you know what I mean? Some schools might do that, but when you finna get out here and practice, you're about to earn everything that we gave you. And I think a lot of people are not understanding that, because you can, it's 1 year contracts now. It's 1 year contracts at the end of the day. And if you go somewhere and you play well, they're gonna pay you well. And if they don't, you're gonna leave. It's a lot of developmental schools out here, even on a lower level now, that are just getting poached because they had a kid who had a breakout season. Lindenwood had a wide receiver who had a breakout season. Got offered, I think, $300,000 to get in the portal and go to Tennessee, I believe it was. He chose to go, and now if he doesn't practice well, get in our workout, be a leader, he's gonna have 300,000, but he's not gonna play. And guess what he's gonna be trying to do after that? He'll be trying to leave.
Portal.
He gonna try to leave.
Portal.
You know what I mean? So the days of holding people accountable for their performance and rewarding those who actually do their jobs and things like that, it's at an all-time high. One thing I learned today, University of Oregon, the last 4 years that this portal stuff has been open, they have not lost a starter in the portal. They have not lost one starter, one player that started for them. In the last 4 years, they have not lost a starter to the portal.
Who you say?
The University of Oregon. So some people have figured it out. You also you have the financial piece, but you still got to have the relationship with the player and things like that. You know what I mean? And obviously make them want to stick around. Oh, well, coach, y'all give me a little money, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And it is that. And it is that because
show me the money. Yeah,
we all know Oregon Oregon is the only
Unlimited.
only team with an owner. And I said it in the most respectful way. So they're doing things right up there. But a lot of people aren't as fortunate. It's like, man, I can jump in this portal. I don't gotta work hard. I can get out of here and I can go get some more money.
Who's the owner? So,
I'm sorry.
Who's the owner?
Phil Knight.
Okay. And what else does he own?
Nike.
Oh, okay.
And I don't mean, owner, you know what I mean? But, with so many companies and so many opportunities and so many things that they provide that other people can't provide.
They definitely. So Skeet said Oregon NIL not unlimited. It's definitely unlimited. Come on now, Skeet. It's definitely unlimited. I guarantee you, if they call Phil and say this kid need blah 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 blah, Phil gonna open up the bank. Let's not get it twisted. Now I ain't saying they finna go offer that to, you know what I'm saying, no 40 players, but they top 8 to 10 guys getting that bread.
Yeah, or Oregon has their own collective. It's called Division, and that's under the Nike umbrella. You know what I'm saying? So again, they haven't figured out, but this whole thing has turned into something where, hey, now I don't get what I want, I can go somewhere else. And I think it's a good thing, but I also is thinking it also has me thinking, well, what happens when you're one of those 7,000 kids, literally 7,400 kids that are in the transfer portal, and you don't come out? Because guess what? You say you're leaving, they don't have to honor your scholarship no more. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And now, from a football standpoint, yeah, it's a business, man. You just don't want to get caught on the wrong end, having somebody advise you to jump into the portal and you don't know where you're going. You know what I mean? Someone advising you to jump in the portal and the people who told you that they had $250,000 for you, they don't have it. And parents need to be educated as well. I think Tillman wrote that as well. Parents need to be educated on what's going on. If y'all don't know where this kid is going, do not jump in that portal. You will get left in there. You will get left in there. And it's a dangerous place to, you've been worked all your life to get where you got, and you jump in the portal and you have nowhere to go. It's a dangerous place to be, man. So you just really, really gotta make sure you're careful. Make sure you understand the rules. Make sure you understand value. All of the above. Sorry, I'm just trying to read some of the comments. But very, very good conversation to have. As we, kind of still talk about high school football and National Signing Day. Lutheran North is still searching for a head coach to lead their program. John, I'm gonna just dump it right to you. Is it time to panic? What steps, if you're in that position, what steps do you take to find a head coach? It's not late in the game. You know what I mean? But, off-season workouts and things like that, you just want somebody in that seat. What are you saying, or what are your thoughts on what the next steps would be if you are calling the shots at Lutheran North?
I personally don't think they're in panic mode. And I don't think they're in panic mode because I think they have a good core of their assistant coaches that are still messing with the kids because they care about the kids. And I think that's important. And so I think that gave them an opportunity to say, hey, let's sit back. Let's try to make the right decision here as far as who we're picking to be our next leader of young men. If I'm the athletic director, if I'm the principal, of course, I'm sitting there saying we got to make a decision here soon. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like it's this pool of coaches is a deep talented pool. You know what I'm saying? And you're talking about maybe 3 or 4 coaches in the area, in the local area. And you only need one, but it's probably 2 to 3 guys that you can look at and say, this is who I want to hire. And it's always come down to finances. Can they afford to go pay someone just to be a football coach? Or they looking at the situation, and like I said a couple weeks ago when we talked about this, I got to get somebody in here that can do more than just coach football. You know what I'm saying? And that's, that might be something that important of what they're looking at for this situation. Not saying that Kyle didn't do more than coach football, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know how they're valuing that position. I do know that they want to bring somebody in that can continue to keep getting kids in there and play at a high level. Will that happen? I don't know. I do know that they need to make a decision here in the next 30 days, less than 30 days. They need to figure out a head coach.
30 days?
And they need to have a head coach in the next 30 days, period. Because think about it like this, Chris. It's February 1st is coming up, right? You got kids that are deciding where they're going to high school at now. And in the next 2 months, people are making decisions on where they're going to high school. You don't want that person missing the boat as far as the recruiting aspect. Notice I put the parentheses because it's not really recruiting, but it is, whatever you want to call it. But you don't want the next person coming in being behind the 8 ball. He was able to get in front of parents and say, hey, listen, I'm coming over. I'm taking over the head coach of Luther North, and these are my core values. This is what I believe in. This is how I'm going to keep the culture going in the right direction, because culture is everything. No matter what it is, what sport it is, it's somebody that's got to be able to come in there and make sure that culture is staying at a high level. And so that needs to happen ASAP, because, people are deciding where they want to go. On top of that, you got kids that are still there that you still got to court, because let's not get it twisted. Don't you think for 1 second that East Side, Cardinal Ritter, CBC, and all of them other worlds ain't poaching, ain't ready to pick at what you ain't courted, and they saying, oh, you know what? Oh, he an edge rusher. Oh, he good for us. He come in and play right away. Oh, he good slot receiver. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be hard if you don't get a coach in there soon to be able to court your players that still go to your school, because that's the biggest thing now with coaches and programs. You got to be able to still court your kids that are there with you. You can't. It ain't like the old times where you can just rely on the fact that, oh, he go here, I ain't got to worry about nobody getting him or trying to get him to transfer or get in the portal. No, they get in the portal. It's like college now. High school is no different. If you ain't courting them, if you treat them like a secondhand girlfriend and you don't care about them, what you think gonna happen? Somebody gonna come and pick your girl up, and that's all this is. With high school football, it's the same way.
Yeah, and valid points. I think the biggest thing is those kids aren't just going to be able to up and leave. Going to CBC, going to Cardinal Ritter, going anywhere. And I name those schools because top of the food chain. Schools, no other reason. East Side maybe obviously a little bit easier to be able to go over there. You move to Illinois, you can go play. So those kids are going to have a reason for why they're leaving. So that's going to be difficult for those kids just to leave. My next question would be for you. Obviously, coming off a state championship, I believe Lutheran North is now a school where, even if they don't get in front of as many parents, and I'm going to ask your opinion on this, do you think kids are still not just going to show up? Do you think, obviously they're going to name a coach at some point. Do you not think that they're not a program to where, hey, I don't know who's coming, but I'm going to Lutheran North to play football?
No. Absolutely not. No program is above that.
I think there's some programs out there that just get kids that show up. I'm telling you, John.
No.
It happens.
Not even. Now listen. If Pink will leave CBC tomorrow, if Sunken leave Eastside tomorrow, people ain't just gonna go over there and register and say I'm still going there. Them times is over with. I don't see that being the case ever again, unless they know who's coming in is gonna carry the torch and still be keep it at a high level, still gonna be playing a national schedule. Like all that stuff matters, man. It's like the national schedule stuff is relationships. I know people think it's just what's the prestige of the high school and the legacy of the school, blah blah blah. But no, it don't work like that. If Jimmy McKinney decides to leave and shine tomorrow, they don't play a national schedule no more. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? So like, people got to understand those type of things. Is like, no, ain't nobody just coming in and rolling there next week. Like, oh, I'm going there no matter what, because we always had this conversation. People ain't picking schools. People that play that's in athletics and sports and athletics, they ain't picking schools for education. Let's keep it funny.
Oh, let them tell it they is, John.
And stop it, man. They ain't nobody. They ain't pick St. Mary's because of the academics at St. Mary's. They pick St. Mary's because Ray Merriweather, the coach there, Chris Brooks, the coach there, and they know you guys and they like you guys. It's just that simple. They pick Courtney Ritter because they want to go play football for Spain. They pick Eastside because they want to go play football for Darren Sunkett. They ain't pick Eastside for no academics. They ain't pick Eastside for the STEM program. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to stop faking and start telling the truth and put it out there on the carpet. They are picking for athletic reasons 90% of the time. Nothing but facts.
That is a fact. Just before we kind of wrap this up, John, and I don't want to throw you on the hot seat, but I'm just kind of going to. You talked about the talent pool of coaches out there. If you had one person who you would think would say your thought would be on who potentially could not I'm not saying that you have any inside scoop or anything like that. I'm just saying one particular person who comes to mind who you believe will be a good fit, you know what I mean, to kind of carry the torch at Lutheran North. Do you have someone? It's so completely okay if you don't.
I got someone, and the funny part, he really just came to mind right now. But I would go after Chris Shannon, and I would go after Chris Shannon simply because he was a part of Trinity when Trinity was on the up and up, and he understands what coaching at a private institution requires. You know what I'm saying? And he's still relatively young as far as in coaching football world. He knows all the youth football coaches. You know what I'm saying? He's relatable. You know what I'm saying? And so and this is just me. You know, I ain't talked to Chris or none of that, but that'll be a person for me that I'll throw his name out there and be like, you know what? Let me go reach out to Chris and see what he got going. I know he just, you know, in year one, you know what I'm saying, finishing at McClure North, but let's call a spade a spade. The opportunity is opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And he is somebody that also, when you look at their staff already at Lutheran North, he has relationships and dealings with those guys, who a lot of those guys he coached with at Trinity. So it wouldn't be a power struggle thing as far as retaining the same people that already coached there. You know what I'm saying? But that's who I would go after, because he's young, fresh face. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna be more easier to deal with as an athletic director. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it'll be a power struggle as far as the needs and wants, and it's gonna be like, all right, look, this is what it is, Chris. We got to figure it out. And Chris gonna say, you know what? Let's go.
I never thought of that more recently. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really give it a lot of thought, you know, on who, but I think Chris would be a really, really good fit. I do think he has relationships with, you know, some of those kids just from, you know, his reach, just within the community as well. And you know, again, being a leader of men. So I think that there will be, you know, a good candidate to consider. I don't know if I'm really supposed to, give my take on this. But
I already know who your guys and and we ain't even talked about this.
yeah,
'Cause I
I
know
would,
you're a Spartan, so I know you guys stick together.
you know, I think Lorenzo Brinkley would do an absolute
Mm,
great job at
mm,
Lutheran North.
mm.
I think his expertise and and offensive play calling. He's coached at SEMO on a collegiate level. He's coached at Kirkwood. He's coaching at SLU right now. I know Adam Cruz is probably going chew me out for saying this live, but I think what he brings to the table, to being able to adapt to the skill set that a school has. He's not he's a smart guy. You
But
know what I mean?
my
And
my
he's going to play to his talent, and he knows
my,
how to do that really really well.
my question, you though, when it comes to Brink, my question is, does he really have the flair and spunk like the other guys that we can consider? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to know. Think about the last two guys that was the head coach at Lutheran North. Think about it. Think about Kyle.
You think Kyle? No shade to Kyle. You think Kyle had spunk?
I
Had
think. I mean, he would never shut the hell up on social media.
What does that mean? He was just talking a lot then.
He had
If that was the case,
he had a different air about himself. Right, wrong, or indifferent. He had a different air and flair about himself, and it looked more like confidence than just no swag, but it looked like confidence, which could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing sometimes, but if you
I
can't give him the real in it, but he was like, think about it. Carl Reed was the same way. Carl used to
similar,
similar, right? Carl used to
similar.
on social media clowning
Yeah,
until
I don't.
that one little situation. Until the one situation, but other than that, Carl like so like
I wouldn't say spunk
it's
is
frankly
is the word that's all I'm saying.
it's
Like Kyle was very, educational. He was out front. He was making sure that
and
you guys knew he beat somebody.
Chris,
And some
I'm
people said he was. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
only asking you this because I never see Brink on social media ever.
I mean, but what does that mean? I don't never
It means
see.
a lot.
I see.
It
I see
means a lot.
Pingle just got a Twitter. Pingle
Listen,
just got a Twitter 2 years ago.
Brinkley is not Pinkle, and Pinkle started in an era where wasn't nobody talking on social media as coaches.
So not to say Brink, Chris Shannon, or whoever the candidate pool would be, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think a coach that whatever coach takes that opportunity needs to have a social media presence?
You got to be out front. This ain't gonna be no thing when you get a chance to sit in the back and relax. You ain't a background singer. This is like who always call you
David Ruffin.
This is like David Ruffin and Temptations, baby. Point blank, period. So whoever come in there and take that job, they got to be out front and ready to wow with a wow. They got to hit it. Wow. That's all I'm saying, dog. That's all I'm saying. They got to be ready to wow people, man.
I think there's a little bit of truth to that. I think that's a little bit of truth to that. But I think at the end of the day, you just got to be able to communicate with the masses to be able to get people to believe in you. And I think one thing right off the bat, he's going to have an opportunity to get in there and show people. I'm saying whomever is going to have an opportunity.
You said it like somebody had the job already.
Right. Whomever, they're going to have an opportunity to get in there and get with a team, try to get a team to buy into them, because they're good enough to win right now. They're good enough to run it back. If anybody say different, they don't know what they're talking about or they're a hater.
No, that's a fact.
They're sophomore loaded. They're good enough to be able to run it back. Especially, in the class that they are in, they've shown that they are the superior contender. You know what I mean? So whomever, they're gonna have an opportunity to get in there and do something special. Again, It is going to take hard work. It is going to take buy-in. It is going to take the right staff. And whoever this person is, if I'm Lutheran North, I am looking for someone who can continue, like you said. I think that's the biggest thing. Just make sure, you have a football program worth talking about. You know what I mean? Because in a school like that, they're going to be able to get kids in, but you need football players, student athletes. I'm sorry, to be able to come into the school. They make up 30% of your school. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see who they hire. I think whomever it is, they'll have a great opportunity, to continue to do something special at Lutheran North. Moving right along, before we kind of get out of here, John, I know you can't really talk, or maybe you can. Last week, incident at Cardinal Ritter. It wasn't Cardinal Ritter. The gym was rented out. They have an event there every year. I've been to the event before. It's a very, very good event. And kids start fighting. I guess my big question is, and everybody want to point the finger at Cardinal Ritter. They want to say Cardinal Ritter, and I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? Because one, I don't think that's right, and two, y'all need to control y'all kids, or y'all need to be at certain places with y'all kids. But John, what are your thoughts? Not about, again, this isn't a Cardinal Ritter thing at all, where, you know what I mean, we were at the game and whatever happened. This event, some kids started fighting and it became a really, really big issue. What do we do to be able to control these kids? Schools, events like this used to kind of be a safe, a safe space, and I still think that there are. But what do we do just to try to be able to not have things like this happen with these kids?
What do you like, Chris? This is my thing about this. This ain't nothing no different than what's been going on for 35, 40 years. They ain't just started fighting at games. Like, I hate, this is what I hate. I hate that our people get on social media without being factual. One, I hate that people get on social media and they ridicule the event operators, Cardinal Ritter, and it makes no sense. This is what I would say with this. They need to get tougher across the board with the penalties when kids do things, period, on these school level, on these high school levels, because it makes no sense, man. It's like the reason that they be fighting be over stupid stuff. And the fact that you
But it was girls.
They the worst. Listen to me. Boy, I'm going to tell you this from being an educator myself. Boys plan fights out. They plan them. Girls do not. The girls say, oh, there goes such and such. Oh, she getting it before she leave here right now. They don't care. They're not waiting. They're not waiting till they get outside. They're not waiting until they catch her at the mall. When they see her, it's on site. And I believe that the penalty needs to be harsher for kids when they do things like that. People can say what they want to say about me. I don't care. I live in this world every day, being an educator. The penalty, it needs to be zero tolerance when these kids are fighting in school, period. And the first thing everybody want to say is, well, it's trauma this, and they live in trauma, and blah, 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 blah. Man, I'm not trying to hear none of that, man. The world is eating our kids up right now. If they eating them up. And we're not doing nothing but making excuses for trauma and IEP. That's all we're doing. We're making excuses. That them fighting at an event like that on MLK? Really? What's you got no respect at all to be fighting on the day where a man was fighting for our freedom and peace. and our peace of mind. And you out there, and you not just fighting, you all over the joint. You on the court, you in the hallway by the concession stand, you fighting all over it, all over the place. They need to start putting them in jail. Period. And people are gonna be like, man, that's harsh. Yeah, the world is harsh. The world is gonna eat your kid up, gonna eat you alive. And you're gonna be on Facebook making a post talking about, oh my God, pray for my son. No, I ain't praying for that. Because it's madness. And it's gotta stop. At what point do we start looking in the mirror and holding ourselves accountable? At what point? And then you wonder why people looking at situations and be like, I ain't seeing my kid, blah, 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 blah. But it's us, though. We doing it. You ain't seeing that nowhere. You ain't seeing no bras nowhere else. You ain't going out to Parkway West and seeing no bras out of Parkway West. You ain't seeing no bras out at Villa Duchesne. You ain't seeing no bras out at the Viz Christmas tournament. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, why when we get together with our people, or they like that, you look at the situation and be like, this is okay. And then I look at it like this too. Going back to the village. Now don't get it twisted. They used to fight back in the day. All right. But like those were real life gang bangers fighting back then. The kids now ain't gang bangers. They just fighting because they know there's no ramifications for what they're doing. It's like, they'll just put me out the game, blah, 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 blah. And they gonna go back to school on Monday like nothing happened. But all that stuff, seriously, Chris, they should be not just suspended, they should be on virtual for 190 days. When they do stuff, when they go these people high school games and they fighting and all that, they should be put on 190 days suspension. I don't care what school you went to fight at. That's what the penalty should be. And then the next thing is, if you do it again, you're going to jail. I guarantee you it stops. Because the problem is there ain't no harsh penalties for the stuff that they're doing. It's the same way with the school districts. We're doing nothing but making excuses for why they're fighting. Instead of saying, going back to the old standards of zero tolerance. Zero tolerance means you fight, you get out. And that's just what it is. But we are the era that make excuses for our kids. We are the era that makes excuses for all the stuff that we do. What did the teacher do? Why the police put him in handcuffs? Why the police spray the mace? There's 40 kids fighting. We're gonna stop 40 kids. You know what stop them every time? The equalizer is mace. It's the equalizer. People say what they want to say. That's harsh. They shouldn't do that. Yeah, they should. Your kids shouldn't be fighting, or you should be here with them to control them. But I can go on and on. Really, I can really go on and on about this topic because I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of it being an event thing. It ain't had nothing to do with Terrell Ramey. Terrell Ramey should not have to wake up the next day and issue a letter, an apology for something that never happens at these events.
Right.
He throws good quality events every year. And he got to wake up and write something that the voice of the people got to post because we don't know how to act. Man, it's sad, man. And it just gets old, Chris. It gets old, man. And people say what they want to say, but they need to have harsher penalties when these kids are doing stuff like that. I don't care what school they went to. They need to be 190 days at the crib. If they do it again, they need to go to jail. Point blank, period, man. That's the only way they're going to stop madness. People are going to be like, well, we got a lot of people incarcerated. Stop doing dumb stuff. Point blank.
You make a valid point. I know we're wrapping up to the end of our show, but one thing that I want to pose the question for next week, we talk about powerhouses in the St. Louis metro area. And on this particular one, we're going to include East St. Louis. Which power school, top program, whatever you want to, put them in, which schools are sending the most kids Division I? That's going to be a topic, the number one topic. Feel free to chime in the comments if you got an early, thought to which school, currently has the most kids playing Power 5 football, and I'm sorry, Power 4. That it has changed. Which school has
Still
the
Power
most kids playing Power 4 football? And I think it's real good idea to just to talk about it. In the sense of you John, you say kids are going to schools, for football. I think it's a good discussion to be able to have, just so we can obviously shed light to some of those programs, and also shed light to programs that you potentially wouldn't even think had the most kids playing at such a high level. So John, I know you'll put it out on social media, but that's going to be the question of the day and a topic that we're going to kind of dive on. We'll name some names as far as kids playing Power 4 football as well, and definitely kind of give some credit and some love to those schools as well. I'm Chris Brooks. That's John Albert. This is Nothing But Facts.
less or this is John Alpha. You just messed it. You just messed it up.
You messed it up, dog.
Listen, no, you messed it up.
You just don't want me to end the show. You want to end the show. Go ahead, dog.
You don't do it right. You don't do it. You don't do it right at all. We're gonna wrap this show up, folks. I'm John Albert with Nothing But Facts with my co-host Chris Brooks, and we out of here, people. You see how I did that one take, one sound.
Man, hit the end button, man.
Hey, you see how cold I did that though? Hey, y'all, tell the man the truth. I'm just cold-blooded with it. One take. Didn't take much at all. But you know what? We ain't never been friends. We'll see y'all next week, people. We all holla.